Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming are now closed to the public as a dangerous fissure has opened. Teton is a portion of the greater Yellowstone National Park where North America's super volcano sits. Manila Chan is following this story, and from what I know of it, this goes beyond any natural disaster movie we've ever seen, potentially.
Well, what is scarier than real life, Holland? It's the height of tourist season, as you know, right now at Yellowstone National Park, so you can imagine a ton of disappointed visitors this week. But there's this 100-foot horizontal crack along a rock wall at Grand Teton. It emerged recently, and park officials fear it may be connected to the supervolcano located nearby. Now, Park Superintendent David Vela said this. He said, quote, "Human safety is our #1 priority, and with an abundance of caution, we are temporarily closing this area until we can properly assess the situation." Experts say this fissure poses a number of dangers to humans in the area. Fears it may continue to crack, possibly create a rock slide, just to name a few, due to the very active grounds there at Yellowstone. The national park sits on a very active magma chamber connected to that supervolcano. Now, the volcano, though, has not erupted in over 600,000 years, but they say if it did erupt, would result in a nuclear winter, blocking out sunlight and showering thousands of miles in volcanic ash. It would immediately kill about 87,000 people and render about 2/3 of the United States completely uninhabitable. Now, geologists across the globe are carefully monitoring this, as well as other volcanoes that have been erupting, with the recent eruptions in Hawaii, sending hundreds fleeing for safety there. Many Americans wonder if or when the next Mount St. Helens-style eruption may occur. A little bit of history for you. Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980 in Washington state. It sent ash and debris more than 80,000 feet up into the air and into the surrounding areas. That killed about 60 people. There were rock slides immediately, and later created the largest landslide ever recorded due to high-pressure gas and steam under the earth. Now, that eruption, it was preceded by a series of earthquakes for the next 2 months and numerous steam venting episodes all across that area. But fear not, scientists say that this crack or fissure may not be a prelude to an eruption or mass extinction just yet. Now, Holland, they say cracks to rock face happen all the time with the tectonic plates shifting, said that backwards. And park officials just need some time to conduct some risk assessment, make sure that it's okay for visitors to go back and, not be injured by possibly falling rocks. And the tourists should be back there hopefully pretty soon, Holland.
So glass half full. It hasn't happened in 600,000 years.
Yes.
Why would it happen now? Glass half empty. Maybe we're overdue.
We might be. The earth has to do something with that pressure.
Thank you, Manila Chan.
Yellowstone, latest updates. Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear Leak Project. How the heck are you? It feels fantastic here in the mobile studio without air conditioning. It's about 133 degrees. Oh yeah. And I want to share with you the latest mainstream news articles on Yellowstone and the fissure south of Yellowstone, because I was called a conspiracy theorist because the mainstream news hadn't covered yet this information. So read all about it. The mainstream news is covering it right now. Fox News, Daily Mail, Daily Express, multiple local. Wow, it's getting warm in here. Dangerous fissure opens near Yellowstone supervolcano. The latest news and information. Read all about it. Yellowstone massive geyser keeps on erupting. CNN.com. If you just type in Hidden Falls, you can go directly to nps.gov, and they're going to share with you the information that was released on the 10th. So we're talking 8 days ago of an indefinite closure. Now, 8 days ago, they said, look, we noticed this thing grow overnight, so we had to close it down because we don't want anyone to get hurt. That's very smart. And it could just be swamp gas from Yellowstone. And it could be the earth is expanding, and it could be just totally normal. And it could be all of the above. So you can see here, woodtv.com, Fox News, read all about it. I just want to give you an idea. If you go to Google Maps, if you haven't been there yet, this will show you that you can drive to Hidden Falls from Yellowstone National Park in less than an hour. Beautiful drive. Definitely recommend doing it. I also want to share with you updates on Kilauea, on the volcano status in Alaska, and the alert levels for 3 volcanoes in the U.S. The Great Sitkin, yellow alert. Kilauea, orange alert. Cleveland, orange alert. Also, this is the latest update on Kilauea. Fissure 8 is still active. And if you go down closer towards the ocean entry is a hazardous area. And my name's Captain Obvious. I'm sweating in the mobile studio to conspiracies about volcanoes and expanding Earth. This right here is a image from the Puna Geothermal Venture Cam. You can see the devastation of Kilauea. And you can also, I'm going to update this and see if we can get the latest image. I just thought it was interesting because you can see the magma, the lava. This right here, you can clearly see, this is updated. This is 11 minutes old. This image right here is 11 minutes old. You can see the volcano still spewing lava. The devastation around the plant is pretty significant. Now, the good news is, there is good news to this. There is new beachfront property in Hawaii. The question is, who gets first dibs? Well, I think we know the answer to that one. There's actually a news article about that. That's pretty intense, though. That looks pretty intense out there. I mean, if you think it's hot where you're at, for a moment I thought, yeah, it's pretty warm in here, but nothing compared to the devastation of a volcano. And I just got to get the Charlie Frost archetype going before the destruction so it can be turned around and so it doesn't happen. It's just a literal frequency manipulation technique, and tweak it a little bit, go back into time, and manipulate that situation where they create some vents down the road to where the supervolcano doesn't erupt the way that it does. It would just be like a very slow, you know, monotonous, continue to release bits and pieces, not just enormous amounts at once. So stay with me here. Now, this right here is going to show you the latest thermal map of the fissure system and the lava flows. You can see right here, definitely some action to look at there. I mean, that's pretty serious. It's pretty serious. Now, Kilauea is nothing in comparison to Yellowstone. Let's go here. This is the updated map showing the lava hot zones. And you can see, I find this interesting because if you look around the Puna Geothermal Venture, the plant here, this area, it's like they must have done something to divert the lava around it. The engineers must have done a good job there because you can see it's clearly, at least what they're showing us here. Now, last I heard, and they're not reporting on this much anymore, folks, there was at least 2 wells were completely covered in lava. The good news is they created the appropriate measures to block any more catastrophic damage at the plant or any of the lava getting inside of those wells. Now, if that's still good or valid, I don't know, because I can't find any information on it. It seems like they've really quieted it down. This right here is the latest information on how many volcanoes there's been in Hawaii, and whew, man, it's getting warm in here. Gotta love it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, if you're wondering why I look a little bit warm, looks like I'm sweating, it's not because I'm scared. It's because I'm excited. Halo! Halo! My Patriot Supply. Check it out. 2 weeks worth of food, 67 bucks. Are you serious or are you from serious? There you go. Seriously, 67 bucks for 2 weeks worth of food? Oh yeah. I just ordered 2 more sets, so I've got like another 140 mils coming in the mill. I'm stacked. All right, so this is the earthquake data. Zoom in on this real quick. It's uploading. The Wi-Fi is kind of slow. When it gets this warm, I think it interacts with the Wi-Fi. Probably not. It's just slow internet connection. Earthquake activity, while this is loading up, we'll go back and look at the map here. Man, it's being slow today. Like, assimilation, assimilate. Boom, bada bing, still loading data. All right, forget you, you're too slow, man. Leak project, we're ready to go. We want the data now. Thermal map of fissure system and lava flows, you can see right here. And there you have it. The information is right there. Cleveland, not Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland, Alaska. Go back here, look one more time. Where's that? Okay, current alerts. Elevated alert, Kilauea and Cleveland. Now, Cleveland's out there in a string of islands off the coast of Alaska. And if you were to compare that and just get a ruler and point it from that location to Hawaii, to Kilauea, it's interesting, the proximity of where it is. And it makes me think of the expanding Earth because of the way that it's curved a little bit and it's coming down. It's like the Earth is expanding, and these areas around certain fault zones and these volcanoes are becoming more active. Now, it'd be neat if we had a geologist on the show that wasn't succumbed to any, like, big brother data sets where they had to say certain things and couldn't talk about certain things because of the funding that they were getting for the research. And it'd be interesting to see if there's some comparisons that they could do with Antarctica, with Greenland. There's a lot of activity in Greenland right now that we're not hearing much about, except for some of the glaciers that are breaking off. Like I'm sure you heard recently about that glacier that is the biggest one these Greenlanders have ever seen off the coast, and they're nervous. Some of them had to be evacuated because if this thing capsizes, it could get gnarly really quick. I mean, it's humongous. So, and there's a lot of data about Antarctica and the ice sheets and how they're melting at a exponent, they're melting faster than has been recorded before. But at the same time, there's other areas around that are in the proximity. South Pole, is that right? South Pole? South Pole. Greenland's North Pole. Okay, I can't wait to hear the comments in the comment section. So, in the South Pole, there's areas that are rapidly melting, and then it's just like the ice is growing back. It's coming back just as fast. So, expand and contract. The Earth is getting extremely hot and extremely cold. The magnetosphere is definitely weakening. That's been proven. So with all of these combinations, and tomorrow we're going to have all of the planets, the major planets, aligned on one side of the sun, this is a recipe for global opportunities. There you have it.
Ladies and gentlemen, doom has been diverted. The mainstream news has come out and officially said the fissure at Grand Teton is completely unrelated to the Yellowstone supervolcano. And this is according to a park official. Read all about it at the Epoch Times. The day before, they were conspiracy theorists because they had an article titled, "The Yellowstone Grand Teton National Park Partially Closed After Large Fissure Opens." And you know who else is a conspiracy theorist? Another mainstream news corporation, total conspiracy theorists. Read all about it. New York Post. You can also read about this on Yahoo. Massive fissure opens atop Yellowstone supervolcano. The good news is President Trump has made a deal with the Russians, and the supervolcano has now decided to calm down. They have diverted doom for at least another 100 days, or until the buck stops and they have to sign more debt to keep the government running. And this is good news. I feel really excited now that Snopes has written an article about this, saying that it's not related at all. I'm really excited that the Epoch Times came out and said, hey, we talked to an official. The official said there's nothing at all to do with this. It happens all the time. It's totally normal. I'm so glad that that mile-long crack in Arizona is totally normal. How about the mile-long crack in Kenya, right? What is it? Kenya crack. Let's put this in. Kenya crack opens up. Kenya fissure. Let's see what it says. A giant crack in Kenya opens up. But what's causing it? CBS News. Read all about it. Another massive crack opens up in Kenya. Huge crack opens up in Kenya's Rift Valley. BBC News. They must be conspiracy theorists. Now, what about the one in Arizona? Like the Arizona desert. Arizona desert crack opens up. Have you had any crack lately in Arizona? There's a really big one out there. It's called Splitsville. It's a 2-mile-long crack, and it's in the Arizona desert. Livescience.com. Read all about it. Conspiracy theorists, they're a bunch of conspiracy theorists, ladies and gentlemen, because the Earth isn't even real. It was made in a NASA basement, just like outer space. Read through the comments. Literally. I was schooled the other day. Someone said, Rex, you do not have an open mind. NASA made outer space in a basement. So I guess I'm looking at something in a basement somewhere hooked up in a virtual reality headset that NASA made. I mean, wow, That's pretty impressive. So I'm just saying. An enormous crack just opened up in the middle of the Arizona desert, Forbes.com, conspiracy theorists. Now, let's look at how many volcanoes right now are active. Volcano activity, U.S., it's 3. Cleveland, Kilauea, and there's another one out there. Oops, I misspelled activity. There are 3 currently. Go to usgs.gov. Let's take a look at the latest reports. There's 2 orange and 1 yellow. Orange Kilauea, orange Cleveland, and then the yellow one is, here we go, Sitkin. So, unrest. And how about why? You know, I mean, you're just out there, you're fishing, you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden, boom! Lava bomb. Jeez, it's intense out there. Now, I am working on becoming a lava scout, right? Going out and scouting for the next volcano. So I'm just warming up here in the garage. You know, it's about 111 degrees right now. And really, it's going to go from extreme heat to extreme cold. A couple more days here in Grandma's garage in San Antonio. And then the bunker in southern Colorado. So going from extreme heat to extreme cold, average of about 10 feet per year of snow. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about. Tell me if this isn't bizarre. And this is totally normal too, I'm sure. So, all right, let me turn this off here. Bing! People are like, Rex, are you packing up for the apocalypse? Yes. But I've been doing that for years, so that's nothing new. Last year, southern Colorado. There's a town in southern Colorado that averages over 10 feet of snow per year. Last year, they didn't get any. What? Think about that. Average snowfall over 10 feet, and then nothing. Oh yeah, and let's not forget about all of the trees that are dying at higher elevations in southern Colorado as well from this beetle kill. Let's definitely not think about all of the fracking that is going on, especially in places like Wink and Kermit, Texas. Let's completely forget about the fracking that's going on in Kermit and Wink, Texas, the sinkholes that are literally growing to where they're having to fence off areas that are endangering and approaching the towns closest to them. You drive out there, and in seconds, you can. It's like you can easily get sick. Are used to it. I don't know how people deal with it because you can certainly smell it. If you're there for long periods of time, there's even areas that say this is not safe. I mean, the planet is really, with all of these fracking sites, if the Earth expands in that area to where there's going to be huge cracks and earthquakes, imagine the toxins that could be released around these wells and how long the effects will be. I certainly see there needing to be more cleanup crews in place and more corporate oversight to watch out for natural disasters and catastrophes that could cause long-term issues with the ecosystem of our planet. Would you agree or disagree? Even if you're in the oil industry, I'm sure you can agree with that because you're going to want to work in an environment where you're healthy and you're not absorbing all that nastiness. It's like Big Brother cares more about the persona of caring than actually caring, if you think about it. Oh yes, you need to wear your seatbelt. Otherwise, if you get in a car wreck, you could fly out of the car. So if you don't wear your seatbelt, we catch you, we're going to give you a ticket because we care about you. But it's okay for these corporations to put carcinogens or what have been linked to carcinogens in products because it's just a little bit and it's been approved by these 3-letter agencies that say it's okay and they have our best interest in their minds. They have our best interest because they care about us. Their consciousness, their conscience, their morals and values. They care about us. They love us so much. Thank you everybody for watching. Marshall Masters is going to be on in less than an hour. We're going to talk about the Colburn Bible, and he is one of the experts, one of the leading experts in the Colburn Bible. All of the information, these scriptures that have been compiled over various timelines and cultures, he has compiled it in a very easy to read set of scriptures called the Colburn Bible. And he's going to be on at 8 p.m. Central, live. We're going to talk about the nature of God, the Colburn Bible. Be excellent to each other, everybody. Thank you once again so much for your support. And also, just to let you know, there are some incredible deals right now at My Patriot Supply. 70 meals for $67. That's 2 weeks worth of food. Breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, and drinks for $67. Also, organic seeds, water filtration systems, exclusive deals specifically for Lead Project listeners. It's always better to be prepared than to be in need.